finally getting the grader picked up today. So I have to lift the blade up, chain it up, so that the tow truck driver can just pull it up on his truck when he gets here. So to do that, first job is to get it running. I'm guessing the battery's probably flat because it's been sitting here for a while. Right. Woohoo! Started straight up. It's a really reliable old machine, this thing. I love it. Okay. Chain that blade up now because the hydraulics are old and leaky in the spools. It'll leak down if I just turn the engine off. These old spools are just terrible. The whole thing's going to be replaced. It's one of my jobs to do on my fix list. Okay, I think we're good. Leave the key in it. They shouldn't need it, but you never know. Okay, nice. Poor old machine's pretty tired, but with a little bit of effort, it'll do enough for me. It's already done a bunch of work, and I love it. Just a simple little cheap old machine. It's done a good job. I wanted to do a proper introduction to my Allis Chalmers D grader. It's a really good old machine, but it needs a bit of love. So I've had it for coming up on 2 years now. In that time, I've rebuilt all of the hydraulic rams. So they are in really good condition and they should last for whatever the lifetime of the grader is. The problems that it has though are significant still. It's a tired old machine. It's done a lot of work and it needs a bit of a refresh. The biggest thing at the moment is the hydraulic spools are all worn out. They all leak, so you can't hold the blade up, you can't push the blade down effectively. All of that's got to be replaced, and I have new spools to do that with. So I'm ready to go on that project. Now I've got the machine back and I've got the parts, I can go ahead. Another problem it has is a leaking seal on this axle. So I'm going to have to pull that wheel off and pull the axle and replace it, replace the seal. I drained and cleaned the chain boxes last year at one point. That was a big nasty job and got maybe a centimetre of dirt out of the bottom of them. So they should be in good condition, but if I'm doing work on the machine I might pull the tops off and check all of that anyway. This one may actually need a top up of oil since that seal's been leaking. Another major issue with this grader is the steering. As you can see, I'm turning the wheel and there is basically no movement at the other end on the actual steering arms. So the steering box is very worn out, and I actually have hydraulic components to replace all of the mechanical steering mechanism with. So in due course I'll pull all of the mechanical steering off and replace it with hydraulic steering. The components are off an old International Harvester header. So to do the main job is to replace the hydraulic spools. I'm actually going to put 3 levers on each side so I can add some more functions to the machine in the future. But for now I'm going to have to pull off the hydraulic oil tank and the old spools, delete all of that, delete all of the old rubbish hydraulic hoses, and build new support in here for everything, build a new hydraulic reservoir. Basically it's going to be a big job with a bunch of welding and cutting. I also need to put in a proper support for the seat because currently that just sits there, which is not ideal. Other issues that we've got, the engine in this is not the original, which was a petrol. So this was a D petrol grader and it's been swapped with a WMV diesel, which is a great engine, more powerful than the original engine, which is nice, and it's good. It runs really well, starts easily, no smoke. It's due for a service. I need to do an oil change and so forth on it. Got some other issues, like I've got a little diesel leak off the sight glass there. I think that's just a bad O-ring. This fuel tank strap, have to pull that and make up a new strap. I've got the materials to do that as well. Definitely needs a new radiator cap because that one's not holding pressure properly. I think that's meant to be oil pressure sender. Don't know where it goes to. There it is. Yeah, so that's our oil pressure sender from the engine, or is it water temperature? I can't tell. Whew. Given what it's connected to, that's definitely water. So that's temperature sender. I need to look into that and check it because that's not working currently. I'd like to have proper temperature and pressure readings. Now there's the gauge. It's in a stupid spot. And that, can't even tell what that is. Oh, that's an hour meter. I think that's disconnected as well. Anyway, so now there's lots of little things to do on this machine. I also need to open up the rest of the holes in the scarifier so I can put the new tines that I have in there. These are a bit narrow, and the Caterpillar tines that are used in these machines, they're just a little bit wider. So I ground this one open a while back, and I have to do it with the rest of them so that I can use the full complement of tines. It'd be really nice to have. I couldn't figure out for the longest time what these little brackets were until I got new tines and I realised that's where they go. Either spares or keep the operating ones in there when you don't want them underneath the machine. I'm planning on swapping this for a hydraulic ram in due course. I'd also like to swap the manual blade tilt mechanism and put a hydraulic ram in here as well. Probably two, one there and one over there, so that I can adjust the angle of the blade as I'm working without having to pull out spanners and things. The biggest thing that I don't have is a powered circle, and I can't really see a way of doing that with this machine without actually swapping the old unpowered circle for a powered one. I think that's something I'm just going to have to live with, which is not a big deal, but it's not ideal. These guys are also very worn out, as you kind of expect, which is not a big deal for me. I don't do a lot of hours with this machine, but it would be nice to have it all a little bit tighter and less sloppy. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that tour. The grader is a great little machine. I really enjoy running it, and I'm looking forward to doing it up and getting it back to work. Oh, that's something else that needs fixing. Lots of rust. These machines all rust out in the top there because of the way it's constructed. So I need to do a new, basically it needs a new cab from about here up. That's a bigger job for the future. Wouldn't mind putting a roll frame on it as well. So I could probably drill some bolt holes around here. I don't know where that... it's boxed on the back. Anyway, I could attach a frame here up and over to give me some rollover protection. The machine doesn't have any rollover protection at all at the moment. Obviously the cab's just a tin can. I'd like to be a little safer running it. So that's another job. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that tour. See you later.